Welcome to the Wammo Gonzo podcast. We are live on June 11th, 2024. Coming to you with episode 111. That's right, 111. We're back. We're here. Feels great. We're in this giant hall of tables again. It's always a different setup here every week. But the main thing here, we got a guest this week.
He wasn't lying.
Wasn't lying last week. Cody wasn't lying.
Nope.
We got to introduce Cody. Cody, say what's good to the people.
Cody.
You got to put the mic up.
You got to
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm new to this, so you're gonna have to forgive me.
It's all good.
Yeah, I've known you for what? How long? About a year?
Probably about a year. Probably about like a solid
Met
year.
at the gym.
Met at the sports club. Yep.
Sauna.
Yep, in the sauna.
Talked about running.
Yep.
Been friends since.
Dude, for real.
Don't hang out enough.
Yeah, I know,
Just made
dude.
an appearance on the podcast. That's what it takes, apparently.
That's what it
to hang
does,
out with you
dude.
on a regular basis.
We had to schedule you in.
Yeah, that's
how it works.
That's what it feels like.
I know. Yeah, I mean, we're real rigorous with our schedule, I guess. Like, it's been Tuesdays. It used to be Saturdays, but we moved to Tuesdays. Tuesdays are nice because it's like Saturday, everyone's usually doing something.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what it's came down to, at least. We're like, yeah, it's not working on Saturdays. But yeah, dude, it's good. I'm just happy to have you on here, man. We've I don't know, our podcast is it's been primarily like a comedy podcast, but like, I don't know, we always mix it up. We always do a bunch of crazy off the wall shit.
It's good. You guys are gonna have to carry the comedy load.
What does that mean?
You're gonna have to be the funny ones.
I'll be funny. Cameron will be interview,
Oh yeah.
and you're going to be our experiment.
Perfect. I'm down for that.
Perfect.
And then obviously if we have any question, we have the lovely Nate.
Oh, yeah, Nate's here, by the way.
Nate is here.
Forgot about Nate.
To look it up. Is the hotspot
Nate,
working?
make a noise.
Good. Yeah.
All right, good enough.
Right. No, so like tell us a little about yourself. So you're from Cincinnati your whole life?
No, I grew up. It's probably about 2 hours north of here in cornfields. Then I've been in Cincinnati since 2017. I was here for a brief stint before that, but I've moved around a decent amount. Lived in Key West, Charleston.
Holy shit.
Here in Cincinnati, I traveled a decent amount. Lived in the forests of Vermont for a while.
Holy fuck. Was that on the thing you told me?
Yeah, the
about?
Wilderness there. Yeah, because we had talked about. That's actually one of the things that when we first met. We had talked about because you're in the addiction space. The Vermont Youth Conservation Corps is the company that I worked for, and we helped build trails in the Vermont forest. The kids, they weren't like addiction. It was more Vermont is just a pretty depressed place from like a economic standpoint. So they were basically creating programs so the kids wouldn't get. So it was more like a proactive way to go do it.
Damn, it's like whatever. What's the sports thing they used to say to kids, like play 365 or something? You know what I mean? Like type of like get the young communities out there playing football for real.
Yeah, instead of football, they were jumping off cliffs and doing other reckless stuff. But
damn,
yeah, we went swimming, did a bunch of stuff, built some trails, had fun.
that's fucking
Taught
sweet.
them
You get
basic
paid
stuff.
for it too.
Yeah, that was the thing. They got paid to go work. They didn't have phones. So that was one thing because I know in a lot of these like recovery programs, addiction programs, it's like technology. There was a large aspect of like they willingly gave their phones up. They would have access to them. I think it was like once a week. I can't remember specifically.
Not bad. Yeah.
And they could like call their parents, but they really had maybe like an hour.
Tell
tops.
me more about this shit. Were you like living in a tent, or was it like pre-built cabins or something?
Yeah, no, it was a tent.
Dang.
So we would basically
I'd be getting bad fucking acne.
Yeah, we only showered like once a week. So.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting,
Flaring
especially
up
when it was like
shit.
midsummer and like 100 degrees and working in the dirt all day long because like you're moving rocks, like digging pickaxes and stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Why were you
Building a
doing that?
railroad.
Why was I doing it or why were they doing it?
Why were you there?
I was there. I was at the time I was in sales, which I'm in now. I was also renovating a house. That house, I completely gutted it down to the studs, and then from there was basically building it back up. I didn't have a bathroom for like 3 months, so I was showering at the state park.
Dang.
I just worked a ton of hours, like probably 100+ hours a week for almost a year straight, and got completely burnt out.
Why were you in a tent, though?
Well, then I ended up finding that like position, and I was like, I'm just gonna go do this. I was like, I'm done. Don't want to do everything that I'm doing. Wrapped up the house, listed it on Airbnb, quit that job, moved to the forest, went and built some trails, and had some fun. was a good summer.
Oh, so you're like on that nature boy shit?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy nature a lot.
Tyler can tell you about that. He just went on a camping trip.
Where'd you go?
I did just Red River Gorge for a little
awesome.
bit. It was like I wasn't there long
Were you
enough
on
to
your
see
tent
much
shit?
I was on some tent shit for a little while.
Tent or a hammock?
Tent. We had a hammock,
Try
but
hammocks.
we had boys in it. So
Oh, yeah.
the bedroll I had was like probably as thin as this cloth, I'd say. And so I was just sleeping on ground.
Yep.
I slept well thanks to alcohol.
Yeah.
Thanks to alcohol, and I had no pillow, so that was fun waking up.
Use a sweatshirt. Probably too hot.
Dude, I
for
think
a
I
sweatshirt.
tried to lay on a cooler, but it was fucked up. I don't know.
That's the fun of camping.
One
man.
night was good enough for me, but I didn't get to see a whole lot of trails there.
No?
But it was cool.
So did you do the like dispersed wilderness camping, like where you just parked on the side of the road, drag your stuff to wherever, and then camp?
I guess so. We were only parked like a quarter mile away.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Because like
Yeah.
there, you can in national forest, you can usually disperse camp where you just basically park on the side of the road and you can hike any distance into the woods. Most people don't go that far because you still have access to your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do that. Well, used to do it a lot more. It's harder to find people that willingly want to camp now. It's like you get a little bit older.
Yeah.
It's like I have a nice bed, I have a house, I don't need to do that. But I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it was my cousin invited me. I haven't seen him in a while, and they showed up a day early, but I was not ready to go. So, so I got the end of the trip.
You.
Yeah, I
you
got
end
the
up- did you
end
end
of the trip.
Did you end up using those like guides I sent you? The
Guides.
pictures? Did you forget
Dude,
about
I just said fuck it. I had one night to be there. I'm like, if I
Yeah.
forget something, I'm
I-
living off the
I
Pretty
dirt.
hard to forget alcohol,
yeah,
isn't
like-
it?
Huh?
Pretty hard to forget alcohol. That's probably
Definitely
about all
didn't
you-
forget that.
Yeah, so
that was like number
anytime you go
one.
that short,
Yeah.
it's like whatever you really need.
What did
and
you
if
bring?
alcohol's one
Did
of
you
them.
bring beer
Yeah.
in the cooler?
I could forget a toothbrush, but as long as I got beer, I'm good.
Yeah, for one day.
Yeah.
I sent them like these extensive ass fucking camping lists, like, you know what I mean? Shit to bring, camping checklists.
Well, if you ever want to go camping again, I have everything. I lived out in the forest for 4 months.
I know.
Nice. Yeah, I think I got most shit. I don't know what's like the
Well,
random.
your sleeping pad would be the worst because, like, you do
Yeah.
want a good sleeping pad because
good
otherwise
one.
you are just on solid ground. Otherwise, you would just take like a pile of leaves and put the pile of leaves underneath your
Holy
tent,
shit. Oh,
so that way
okay.
you're not sleeping directly on like straight hard concrete.
That's
Pine
true.
needles work pretty well too, but they're a lot like pricklier.
Yeah, you probably got some like tips and tricks
Yeah.
from living out there. So yeah.
Yep. I
But-
know how to shit in the woods and cover it up. All the fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
He didn't do
pretty-
that.
that's
He
pretty
said,
easy.
He's supposed to
I do it
dig a
every
hole,
Saturday
yeah.
while fucking landscaping. You know what I mean?
You're
I
technically
do.
supposed to dig a little hole and then put dirt on it.
Why
Yeah,
is that?
so-
Is that so no one steps on
It's
it?
technically supposed to be like leave no trace, like so you leave the wilderness in the same spot. But
I like that, actually.
again, if you go and see like any of that area, you'll pass camping spots. Like I don't know if you saw any, being like a quarter mile away from the road, but you'll see like fire rings that people have made, and a lot of times you'll see like tinfoil, which doesn't
Yeah.
really burn. You'll see like old fire, like not fire pokers, but the hot dog sticks and stuff like that. People just leave out there, little cooking grates, so you can actually cook food rather than just putting on like a rock.
On coal or whatever,
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. Everyone else had supplies, like some real good shit.
Yeah.
Some like, I don't know, we cast iron like teapots
yeah.
and shit. And just, we were with some real old guy, so he had everything he needed.
Oh yeah, those old guys know everything.
Dude, he was like 80. And
Yeah,
literally, he was like 80. And he stayed at the camp while we went out and did our stuff. So
Oh,
it was
that's
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah. He's 80, but he's still joking around with the young kids. So it was interesting.
That's
But
how you stay young.
yeah, we were messing with him a little hard. But I think he liked it.
Well, 80. I'm like, if he went to war or anything like that, he probably misses it.
Dude, yeah, that guy was pretty cool, but 80 years old too. I mean, I'm like, dude, 80? Why are you chilling with the 80-year-old? Like,
Who knew him?
but like he's friends with my cousin, I guess. I don't know why.
I think
he
that was a
really
random
just-
80-year-old.
Yeah.
It's not his grandpa.
No, he's just like, yeah, we're
Met
bringing
him
this.
at the nursing home and just said, "Need to get out."
Pretty much.
Southwest want to get away.
He's a big camper, though. I think that's why he just wanted to go. Needed
Well, that's cool.
some people to go with.
That's
But
fine.
yeah, he's.
What would be your like favorite thing that happened? Did you guys like? Did you hike at all? You said you didn't really get to see
We
many
hiked a
trails.
couple trails, but like trying to think, nothing crazy.
Did you go over the natural, like the bridge, like the arch portion of it?
I've heard the names of a couple, but I don't think so. Isn't there like Angels Windows or something? Something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it is called.
Heaven's
Yeah,
Windows.
there's one
or
that's like
some
this
shit.
big arch bridge made out of stone that a lot of people like. It's pretty cool to go and see. And then there's like a lookout down the path from it that you can look back at it and kind of see like the whole arch, which is pretty nuts that like how it would even been formed. I don't.
Yeah.
Make a lot
it
of
was.
sense.
Did you see it, Nate?
It was like
when
my first time, so it's kind of shitty. I guess I didn't get to see a lot, but I mean, probably take another trip out.
Yeah, it's not that far away.
Courthouse Rock.
I can't remember what it's called, but I think it is Angels. I think it is.
Something like that, yeah.
It's been a while since I've been down there. We had a really nice camp. Like we found one.
Angel Windows Trail.
Yeah.
There you go.
0.6 mile.
There you go. 0.6 mile.
Yeah, because it's like the thing is Red River Gorge and like the natural bridge at Red River Gorge. That's what a lot of people when they go down to hike. That's what they want to see.
Yeah, I guess I missed out on the really cool shit, but
I mean, you're still out in nature. If you're
is.
not in concrete jungle, you're
That's
in
true.
actual wilderness.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, one day was good, but I'll see if I could last a couple.
Oh, you could. It's fun.
We'll see.
You get the right crew.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna cook s'mores. You could bring steaks. There's not
True.
really bears. I guess there's kind of bears, but that would be fun
Yeah.
to see too.
We
You ever
had
been up
some,
close to a bear?
I don't think so.
That's
Didn't see
these
any.
women have never apparently out in this dating pool talking about wanting to be with a bear.
Bear. Oh God. Yeah, that's a little different. I
You
think.
wouldn't be seeing a black bear. It'd be a brown bear, wouldn't it?
No, it'd be a black bear.
Really?
Yeah, most of like the East Coast is gonna be black bears.
Okay.
Black bears are pretty like docile. You're not gonna really like unless they have cubs around. Like most of the time, they're pretty safe. Safe probably not the right word, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to worry too
I don't know.
much.
I'm just going off of the movie Cocaine Bear.
yeah. I've never seen that.
You never
I don't
seen
think I
that?
want to be around a brown bear. I'm pretty sure they're like 12 foot tall, like or get up to like 12 foot tall. Black bears are. I mean, I went hunting and shot one, so
Yeah. I'd say our boy Wade, he's hunted those before.
yeah, it's a pretty
Dang.
exhilarating experience.
I bet. Fuck. Kill
So
a
usually
bear.
out in the middle of absolute nowhere, and like if you shoot it, you have no idea like where the thing went,
Yeah.
and like or if it's like going to
You gotta
die. So I'm
follow
like
the
you're
blood
kind of
trail.
stuck. Yeah, you're kind of
Yeah.
stuck. Like I'm up in this tree. Like I hope to God this thing. They're way better at climbing trees than what we are. So you just kind of like I hope it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's crazy. So yeah, you obviously did that for like 4 months of your life. Obviously you're from like 2 hours north. You live down in Key West, you said? What was that like?
That was me shirking responsibility right after college.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to go to college in the first place. And then
You're
when
on
I went
some
and
like
did it-
Johnny Depp rum diary
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah, I went and cleaned pools actually.
Really?
Yeah, so I got to wear short shorts, no shirt, go clean pools, and did that for a bit.
That's fire. That's like
Yeah.
that's the type of shit people don't like think about, right? Because everyone here in Cincinnati, you know, they're stuck. It's like I go to my job, I go to the bar, I go to the Reds game. That's all I do.
Yeah, when you can literally like
It's
wake
like I
up.
go to the casino. It's like that's all fucking people know. Like, that's it. Oh my God, the Taste of Cincinnati
Yeah.
this weekend, our new event.
cheering on the Reds lose again.
Have you seen the podcast at all? Or do
No,
you-
I actually I've
okay.
seen like little clips, but I haven't
that
seen the
I'd
full
post
thing.
them.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd post them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw like this side of Cameron. He's a little.
Like a
Wow.
little
He's like a jack of all trades.
Yeah,
Whatever you need.
I like it.
Yeah, like
like
we
it.
need you to be a squirrel. He'll do it. So
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Go find that nut.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Are you the guy he prays with in the sauna?
No. That was some old dude.
Okay,
That
another
was
old guy.
That was a crazy story. I think I talked about it on this podcast in one episode. But like, so there was this old guy. I haven't seen him since. His name was Simon, right? And Simon was the fucking like head priest, pastor. I don't know what the fuck the name of it was for the Indian Hill Church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm talking like he got flown out from England to live in a
yeah.
cottage on some rich fucking ass person's like property over in Indian Hill to be the fucking like main person of the church. And like he was only here on a couple year like agreeance or whatever until they could get the church back up and running until they could be self-sufficient. And like long story short, I actually went over to his house and had dinner with him and his wife. Like they cooked me up.
Wait,
This,
he had a
like,
wife?
yeah.
I know, right?
Mhm.
That would be.
I know, right?
They were Catholic.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm like, I
Okay,
don't
he
think
wasn't a
that's how-
priest then, or he wasn't a priest.
Yeah, like
Okay,
might have been
he
a
was like-
pastor, but not
Yeah.
a priest. A priest, they're not allowed to get married.
Okay.
He could have been a deacon.
That's what,
Deacons, I think,
that's
can
what I
get
think he
married.
was
Yeah,
a
I was
deacon.
gonna say.
Okay, he was a deacon. Nice cottage and shit. I went over there like just to give like him and his wife my life story about like my journey through addiction and I guess to where I got to and stuff. They've like cooked me up this beautiful like fucking London broil, like traditional English meal. Really nice. I haven't seen the guy since, but yeah, that's who I like he was referring to. Some guy I met at the fucking
They live in pretty dope places. Like,
Oh.
If you ever go past like any sort of Catholic church, like the house that like the priest / deacon,
Lives
they
on.
they all live in like amazing,
Dude,
like
yeah, it
really
was
cool
beautiful.
places. So they're also like usually really old, really well maintained.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're just unique.
Well, Indian
like,
Hills,
Catholic
obviously,
churches
I think
had
the
money.
fucking richest neighborhood in Ohio, not
Is
just
it?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah,
the richest
it's
neighborhood.
super nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like some of those houses are.
That's where like Burrow and fuckers
Yeah,
probably live. Like, to be honest with you, but no, yeah. So like, I guess that's fucking crazy though. You live down in Key West for a minute after college. Like that's fucking wild. Like just to think about that. That's kind of just like I've got no problems. I've got no like, you know, I don't have a fuck up baby. I came in, you know what I mean? Fucking since I have
Fuck
child
up baby.
support and shit. Thankfully, we don't have any fuck up babies. You know, we've had somewhat of a noggin on our
Not
neck.
yet.
No, he said not yet.
I think Cameron's coming first.
Yeah, you
Tyler's
think?
taking a bet, thinking I'm gonna have the first kid out of our little.
I'd take
Gonzo
that
bet.
bet right now.
Yeah. I mean, the way he's doing it.
That's
yeah.
right. Seeing the photos of him and his girl being all happy and
Yeah.
doing that, baby's usually the next step, isn't it?
Jesus, I hope not. I hope not. I mean, she's a great fucking girl, but her house is all the way in like fucking out past Batavia and shit. It's in the middle of like nowhere, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm a West Sider. I've lived on the West Side my entire life, so like. You know, in Cincinnati, people are always like East Side, West Side, and shit like that. Right?
That's basically a whole country away from the West.
right.
Side.
It's the truth,
Yeah,
right?
it's
'Cause
like closer to Indiana than.
Yeah, I mean, people don't ever think about like, you know what I mean? Because the East Side's so like, I don't know. The East Side is like, what, like, I can't even say you'd Google it, Nate. But like, what is the difference of them? Right? Is it wealth disparity? Is it like, you know what I mean? Because there's still really high end, like, nice houses and people with money over on the West Side, but like, I don't know. The East Side just seems more of like everyone flaunts their wealth, right? Everyone's like, it's almost like California. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you go to like fucking Newport Beach, California, where everyone's like, who's got the nicest car? Who's got the hottest wife? Who's got the biggest house? Who's got the most money? Right? You know what I mean? Or it's like, I don't know. The West Side is more like people are more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always heard that the West
More
Side
content.
was old money, and I
It
think
is.
it's kind of like what was the Great Gatsby. It's like they were always so mad with like Leo's character on the other side because it's like that's new money, and then the
Yeah.
other side, which was whatever that
I
actor
could
was,
I could say
that was
that.
old money.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like again, it's like just the discrepancy between it. It's like if you have old money, a lot of times like you probably not that you didn't work for it, but I'm like you got gifted something and it's like might be a little bit more under the radar, so people don't know. When you get money and you're the first generation that gets money, it's why Leo I think was the way he was. It's like I need to be that. I need to show people how hard I worked and did that. So maybe that's some of that, but I've always heard, and I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
That like West Side, like the West Side has like old money, and then like East Side would be
Yeah.
new money.
I can see that. I could.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like a lot of people get deterred. Like, you know, you'll ask an East Sider, like, "Oh, have you ever been over to this part of the West Side or whatever?" They're like, I have no fucking point to go to the West Side. Like, they'll just throw dog shit on her neck about it. Like, it's just like,
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, you ask West Sider, like, do you want to go to the East Side? They're like, no, fuck that. West Side. Like, they get pissed if you switch
they
sides.
do. Like, it's fucking weird, but like, I mean, yeah, I mean, West Side has some nice areas. Like, I'm thankful I live in a nice area. It's over in the Dent area, so that's like, it's pretty well off. Like, it's in Green Township, right? Because
Yeah.
like people think of West Side, they think of East Price Hill right here.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
think of Delhi. They
Yeah.
think of Westwood. They think of fucking Covedale. They think of fucking Cheviot, and it's like, those are just like older areas, right? So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, everywhere's old in Cincinnati, but it's just, yeah, it's just like those areas are kind of the more low income, you know, the shit. It's like, that's just how it is. Like, I lived in Price Hill for probably about 14 months when I was in sober living, so it is a shithole.
I just always think it's like anytime I drove over there, because like I'm around the city a decent amount for work, I'm like, it just feels like my car's gonna fall in half. Like the roads, like fix the roads. And I don't think people there would be this division. I'm like, just seems like half the people, if you're from like, cause I'm Norwood, so that technically I think be the east. Cause what 75 would probably be like the dividing line, right?
Oh yeah. Oh,
so
don't worry, this guy's.
It's one of those things that I'm like, I always kind of sit there and like overall look and go, the roads seem to be a little bit nicer on the east side. Like anytime I go over them, like it's just fix the roads, please. Like then I don't think anybody would have that much issue. Also, I think when the city expands, it's like you get like Westchester, like you get Loveland. Like those are new. Like when you talk about Cincinnati's an older city, well, like the west side I think is more just generally overall, and like the development has all happened more on the east side. So you talk about new money, new things happening. It's like almost all that development seems like it is on the east side.
It's true.
It's like it's weird, but I don't know why. It just seems like that's what's happening.
It does. It does. Yeah, I think that's really true when you start looking at all of it. But I don't know. I don't really. That's why it's like, you know, I make the drive.
From the east side or west side, but I live on the east side now.
Where at now? Where do you live?
So,
yep,
like Anderson.
Yep.
Yeah. My way to describe it is like, yeah, the potholes and shit are bad on the west side. That and then the trash. There's just trash everywhere. Compared to east side, it's pretty clean.
Yeah, that is true. I don't understand that. Well, I live in Norwood on Montgomery. We just see people chuck trash out the, like I don't know, it's that road. Most other places it's fine, but I'm like on Montgomery or whatever through Norwood, it just seems like people chuck trash out the door. I don't know what that is. I grew up in small cornfields, like that is not a thing.
I guess the West Siders don't really. Some of them don't really care. I guess they're just like poorer people. Yeah. They're just like fuck it.
Yeah.
Throw it out the window.
It's kind of like the downtown vibe, OTR almost, like more up towards like Republic Street, Vine Street.
Are you downtown more often? Like, is it like, what is the, like, because I have not lived downtown. I know a lot of people like it, but you're down here now for work, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. Obviously, I got a parking garage for my job, you know. Like, so I don't ever have like any problems getting in and out. I take 5th Street right off of 75, and I'm downtown in 15, 20 minutes. So it's never like a huge commute, but I mean, it's nice. There's a lot of fucking good food to eat at, but like, you know, I've got the blessing of work, and where I work, I actually get free food in there. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. But no, I think that like that's fucking nutty though, you know. So you lived Key West, and then where was the other place you said you lived? Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, my cousin lives down there. Yeah, he's like he just works on a golf course. Like,
well, that's super
God
cool.
love Ev, but he's just like a pothead. He's cool though.
What does he do on the golf course? Is he a caddy? Because that's
no,
I think it would be cool.
No,
to be
he
a
ain't
caddy.
a caddy. I think he does something with. I don't think he's like the assistant pro or something. He might be like the assistant pro.
That's
of some
a
golf
sick
course.
job.
Yeah. So.
Do either of you golf?
You know, I fucking don't. Funny story, and you may have just seen on my story. Like I actually was just down in Lexington on Sunday, caddying for my brother in a city golf tournament he was in. He ended up losing. Sorry, Alex. He gave it a good try. But
you weren't a good enough caddy.
No. So I caddied for 7 years of my life.
Did you?
At Western Hills Country Club. Which
no kidding.
Over on the west side.
Was it fun?
Oh, dude, yeah, it was great. I mean, it's definitely. I want to say where I learned my like social skills and like kind of my hustle work ethic. I developed that at an early age because my parents were like, "You're following in your brother's footsteps." He was 5 years older than me. They're like, I went and got a job when I was in 6th grade. So
holy shit.
Yeah. So it's like I started that. It was like, you know, 6th grade, spring, summer, fall, right? That's like all it was. It was just on Saturdays and Sundays was all it was. But I mean, it was a good ride, right? Like, you know, I got to learn a lot about the game of golf, right? And like, it was always funny, like, people always get so mad about the game of golf because they suck, right? Right?
Yeah.
But like,
you just think you're way better than what you are.
I went and
like,
played
bad.
The last time I played, and I don't even have a golf club set, right? I will get one of those as I get down the road, get through all my fucking bullshit I've created for myself financially, whatever. But you know, I borrowed my dad's set, and I went and played at my brother's bachelor party down in Lexington last year, and like, dude, I actually did pretty decent. Like, I think it was like, not gonna lie, I think it was like low 80s or something. So not horrible, right?
But like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say that's pretty good.
I don't know. Like, when I golf, like, I'm actually like, I don't get like upset or mad or frustrated. I don't tend to slice either. Like, I just kind of like, I've relaxed and I've kind of watched everyone's movement for all those 7 years of playing, and like.
Do you walk in with expectations though?
No.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
Golf is like, and again, it's like expectations are the mother of learning, or whatever the phrase is. I'm like, that is the thing.
It's
like
you
if you
versus
play,
the course.
if you play golf a lot, you think you're better than what you are because you might hit 4 shots good, and then all of a sudden it's like you don't do that, and then it's just anger through the roof because you've hit 4 good shots in your life. I'm like, it's just golf is one of those things that like if you lower your expectations, it becomes way more fun.
You relax and play. Like that's my.
You're chilling with the boys.
Yeah.
Like if you drink beer, you could drink beer. Like I know you don't. You can zen to death.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm like, it's just a great time. And I was like, it's competitive. I think as an adult, like it's always funny when like you grow up, people was like, we're not going to be able to play football forever.
Yeah.
And like the old people always try to like get into golf because like you'll be able to play it forever. And I think it is true as you age. It's one of those things where you can still get a competitive nature, like as a male, like competition is pretty big, that you can still be competitive. And that is the part that, again, if you have no expectations, you can just shit talk each other and be like, yeah, but you ain't gonna make that, and it's a 3-foot putt, and then they miss it, and it's like, you're a freaking loser, like you fucking suck at this, like because you missed a 3-foot putt. So I'm like, I think it's just the competitive nature of it that makes it fun. And if you take the expectations out, I don't know, golf is a blast. Like I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Where do you play at mostly?
We played Sharon Woods, I think it was last Tuesday. I think we're gonna do California next Tuesday.
East side.
Yeah, that'd be close to you. Just randomly anymore, it's like since the pandemic, it's wherever you can get a tee time. Like during the week, I'm like, when the weather gets nicer, it's like they've started so many leagues. I think the pandemic is one thing that you could go do, because I think social distancing. I think golf got a caveat. But yeah, it seems like golf had like a massive resurgence during the pandemic, and it's just wherever you can get a tee time. Weekends would be nice to go play a little bit more, but like you said, everybody's got Saturdays. It's just everybody's gone. They got vacations. They got some people work. Like it's just so difficult to try to like chisel that time out.
It's true.
Week is a little bit easier, a little bit more consistent.
Damn. So what did you do for like work down in Charleston though?
I did sales. I was actually door to door. It was a pretty shit overall job. Took an interview, did not even know it was door to door. Asked the questions.
What were you selling, like solar fucking panels?
No, it's like so. You know,
I knew some kids from high school, right?
I wish it was solar.
Yeah, they like
I
got
didn't
into
make
that
some money in
shit for a
solar.
while.
No, it was so you know like Verizon, how they've gone throughout all these cities and they're like doing these hotspots where it's like Wi-Fi internet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever like got someone to come up to your door. We were basically doing that for AT&T. AT&T was trying to do, I guess, what Altifiber does, like where you get your Wi-Fi, your phone, home landline, which no one has, and then cable, and they would do like those packages. They were just trying to saturate the market in that area. So Verizon's doing the same thing right now with like hotspots here. You get people that knock on the door and go do that, but that's essentially.
It's like we'll give you your phone service and your Wi-Fi instead of knocking out like big.
So I did that. Key West Clean
Spectrum.
Pools. Both those jobs that just, again, I wanted to get out, see different things, and go do that. And both the jobs were, cleaning pools was actually fun, but you just dead broke. I mean, 'cause that's all we did. We literally go to work. We weren't even paying rent. We were living at my buddy's like uncle's house for free. And like we just come back and it'd be like blitz drunk at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then have to be up at 6, go freaking clean pools in the blasting heat. And then you'd be like immediately get off and go do the same thing. And as you look down every week and you're like, okay, I have $200 till the next paycheck. It's like not feasible. Like it was just not. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm like, yeah, that was not gonna work. And like we weren't even paying rent. So I'm like,
Jesus.
What was the worst experience with door-to-door stuff? Like some person ever get pissed off at you?
Fuck you.
yeah, a lot of them. I mean, that's just, again, I'm like, it just wasn't a super fun job. Some people are really cool about it, like, but yeah, overall, it was just a lot of no's, a lot of nobody home. Like, if you were to do it today, where people work from home, you'd probably have some success. Like I said, if
I saw
those
a
people
dude
are doing
like last week from Verizon asking for internet and shit.
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, bro.
Yeah, that's what everybody's response is, just like, absolutely not. And then it's like,
Is
the only thing
anyone
you
ever,
have
like,
is I
pissed
can
at you?
save you money. It's like, that's like the most effective way to go do it, because I'm like, everybody else is like, why are you here? I don't care. Nobody wants to switch anything. Like, if you have Verizon today, I'm like, you might be able to save money, but I'm like, the fear of the unknown, it's not worth like $5 a month, $10 a month.
Yeah.
So they just keep it and kind of just go about life. So it's basically like, I can save you money. And then there's always like the cost conscious people that are like, well, like this bill is stupid high, and you catch them. That's most of sales. It's a numbers game, just like dating, talking to chicks like on the street. Like, you're going to have to just run numbers and go, I have to talk to 10 to talk to one person, like to date one date. So I'm like, it's just everything is that you're trying to
go down
to find.
Killer Queen right now on the banks on a Friday night. I mean, fuck. You're going to have to be like spitting some game.
Yeah.
Spitting
So
some real
nobody
words.
ever just like got really rude with you or just like.
No, I mean, you just get so used to it too. Like when people are rude, but part of the nature of sales is like you're trying to convince people to do stuff they don't want to go do. Like that's one thing I'm thankful for. It's like when you talked about you being a caddy, it's like you learn your social skills.
Oh, yeah.
Doing sales and even door-to-door sales, like it helps you in a lot of areas of life. Like if you want to have a girl, like you're gonna have to, I guess, without dating apps, like you would have to go physically approach in person. You're gonna get rejected.
I'm sure that helped your dating life a lot.
Yeah, like dating. I mean, but it's everything. Like negotiating anything, like pay raises, anything like that. It's like when you get used to having those conversations, like hard conversations, and I even say more than anything, it helps with like your friend groups. I always am a big believer that you are you're capped at kind of like your ability to have difficult conversations in any relationship. So if you have a significant other, like if you're able to have hard conversations, stay calm, stay within the context of it, and then again respect their point of view while trying to learn their point of view, and then accept your level of responsibility in the issue, you're going to do pretty darn well. Your friends, you may have a situation where shit gets out of hand, you were drinking, said some shit you didn't want to, and then you can just ignore it, which is most guys are just going to be like,
blame
that never happened. Yeah, that was the alcohol. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
You go and have those
Fuck you,
conversations. Those conversations over time, I think your relationships get a lot better. So I'm like, more than anything, I think it's helped navigate a lot of the situations where people are like, well, that was just a bad person. And it's like, or we were really bad at just talking about how things play out, and the uncomfortability of the situation sucked, and I didn't want to have it. I think the more you do that, you get closer friendships. If people want kids, you think that's going to be easy. Like being married for 25 years, that ain't going to be easy. So the more that you do it, I think you get comfortable sitting in uncomfortability. And I'm like, I think that's a huge benefit. So that's probably the number one thing from doing sales. People rejecting you, saying like, fuck off. Like, I hate you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to call the cops. It's like, bro, I'm here trying to help.
I'll
like,
just leave.
that's pretty aggressive. Like, I'll call the cops back on you.
Yeah.
You're mean.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're like at their house, they're just like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, you technically are soliciting, though.
Yeah.
Like they kind of have a point. Like they really could treat you pretty shitty because like we were 100% soliciting. And I'm pretty sure most neighborhoods have like no soliciting signs like posted at every house.
Damn.
So, yeah.
That's fucking nutty.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. So then, like, obviously, coming back to Cincy, then
Drinking from your water.
After Cincy, or like coming back to Cincy, right? Like, was your family already like moved down here from up north, or do you still have family up there?
No, I actually going to see them. They're up. It's a small town called Versailles. It's basically cornfields. There's one large corporation, and like 80% of the people
That's where
work at it.
everyone works at then. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like that. You got probably a main drag with like a Chinese place, a pizza place, a fucking
Ain't no
Mexican
Chinese place that'd be too cultural for us. You're talking Mexicans a stretch. It's just
Damn.
bar food.
Damn, dude.
That's what they do.
Wings.
Yeah.
Drink and work at Mid-Mark. Shout out to Mid-Mark.
Mid-Mart.
Mid-Mark.
Is that like a store?
They make like dental chairs and like
Shit.
animal like vet equipment and stuff like that.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's a pretty good company for the
Mid-Mart.
people there.
Yeah,
I didn't want to work
mean,
there.
It gives them something, some purpose,
Yeah.
something to do. Damn.
Yeah, they do pretty well. They make a good living up there. Like most people, it's like cost of living is probably like 20-ish% less than here.
Damn.
And I'm like, you make combined household income of like $120,000. The houses are typically cheaper. You do pretty well. Most people can drive newer cars, still put away a ton of money. So I'm like, it's a good area.
Yeah.
It's just too small.
Yeah,
It's
I
too
get
small.
that.
People get married at
Where-
20 years old. Like,
Jesus.
have kids at 22.
I couldn't even imagine that.
It's like
dude.
the 60s.
Yeah, for
That's right.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's like 15, 20 years behind.
Yeah. Damn. Where's you still got your Airbnb?
No, I sold that.
You sold it.
I
Okay. Okay. I was wondering about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sold it. That was up in that area too. Sold it. I renovated. That was the house I was
Because
working
I
on.
remember tapping on your profile on Instagram and it had the
I wonder
link
if that's still
to it.
there. Is it still on
I
there?
don't know because I was like I wanted to fucking go up there and like I was gonna fucking
I would have
book a
gave you. You
weekend.
should have just taken it.
Yeah, I was gonna book a weekend up there, just shits and giggles, go up, fucking, yeah, enjoy it. What was that like though? Did that do all right?
Airbnb experience?
Yeah, owning one, operating it. Like, did you have to drive up there after every fucking use then and restock it? Or did you have somebody do that for you?
No, it was when I first started it was I just ran a test and I was like, because I knew I was moving. Like I told you, everybody gets married super early.
Yep.
They have kids. I always loved the house. My sister and brother-in-law owned it. I bought it from. It was like we saw the photos like a cottage.
Yeah.
And it was really close to a state park. And it had an in-ground pool, so I'm like, perfect bachelor pad. Like, I'm going to throw massive parties. We're going to do this. It's going to be a blast. Well, then you realize, like, all the friends that I had, because I had moved to Charleston, Key West, some of these other places. I lived in Cincinnati for a bit before that. They were selling it. I ended up buying it. And then I'm like, well, I had a vision of, like, what I wanted it to look like. So I was like, I'm going to go buy that. I'll renovate it. Move back there, started doing that. And I was like, what the hell? Like, everybody is having kids. Like, you ask them, like, afterwards, like, it's Friday at, like, 9 p.m., like, what are you guys doing? They're like, well, we're putting the kids to bed. And I'm like, this is not the same place I thought after that year of like renovating it. Damn. I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. So I was like, do I run it like a long-term, like year-to-year lease, or do I turn it to Airbnb? And the first month was the worst month I ever had. Damn. But it was only 15 days, and it did, I think it was like $974 the first month. And I'm like, in the middle of cornfields. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make more money doing this. And I just ran it for 3 months. And I was like, shit, there's no way I could get this in rent. First 3 years, pretty darn easy. I told everyone and their mother, go get an Airbnb. Like, it's definitely like a sweet way to make like money.
Yeah.
Last 2-3 years, it was just every single booking. It seemed like it was probably like half the bookings were just nightmares. People would smoke weed in the house, and then the next guest would come in and be like, he doesn't take care of the property.
Oh, leave a bad review.
Yeah, and so you get all these bad reviews. I'm like, there's nothing I can do if someone's gonna smoke weed in the house for 3 days. I cannot get that smell out in 3 days.
Christ.
Pool, people would just trash like brand new towels. They take them out and it'd be like rain, and they just throw them in the yard, and then they'd get muddy, and then like the housekeeper would try to clean them. Find condoms in the pool all the time.
Jesus.
Women, God love women, but like people would like clean their
Condoms
period
in
blood,
the
blood with the like.
Oh fuck yeah!
Like the pool towels, and I'm like,
yeah.
See, just buying shit all the time. Yeah, just buying shit all the time. Housekeepers again, which they're girls, but they're like, I don't want to clean this crap up, and I'm like, no shit, I wouldn't either. So they kept demanding more money, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I can sell this thing, get out of it. The house prices stay pretty flat there, so it was just like, I don't think it's really
broke even damn near a little bit more.
We did pretty well, but I'm like, at some point,
especially if you fucking put money into it and renovate it.
Yeah, so, but I'm like, at some point, I'm like, I can sell it and I can do other things with this money. Like, I don't know. It's really difficult with like the pool because I'm like, as a year-long rental.
Yeah. You got to winterize the fucker.
Yeah, we got to winterize it, but then it's like, what if someone opens it and then like gets in it and starts using it? Like the liner's gonna take abuse. So I'm like, that to go do the liner is probably gonna be $5,000 to $10,000. So I'm like, if you make $400 a month on the place, $500 a month, I'm like, well, that's 2 years of like what you'd make from it. So I'm like, and that's not including if the roof, the furnace, or anything else goes out. And I'm like, it just seemed to me, I'm like, I'd rather just have the money today, get out of it, not have to go worry about it.
Damn.
So I don't know. Different circumstance. If it was any different of a house and didn't have the pool, I probably would have kept it. Yeah. But I'm sure it'd just be a different conversation. But yeah, I got rid of it. Feel a lot better about getting rid of it.
Damn.
Like it's.
So would you recommend somebody to have an Airbnb then if they had like a 2-family house or like a an apartment downtown or something, or do you feel like it's just like it's probably just not worth it? You don't make that much
at this point.
And was it 1099? Like, how'd you pay taxes on that fucker?
So the Airbnb keeps really good records of everything, like all your bookings, and then you would basically just like anything, like if you're budgeting, you'd say, this is what my mortgage was, this is what the insurance, and you just break it down on a spreadsheet and say, this is what the actual profit of it was.
Okay.
So you go and do that. So that's relatively easy. You just have to keep records like any other business. Housekeepers was the biggest thing. Like if you could find housekeepers consistently, like in here in the city, I'm sure that would be a lot easier than up there in cornfields. Mm-hmm. Like there's just not a lot of cleaning companies that are up in that area because most people clean their own house. Like it's not something that people are really spending on.
Yeah.
that it was just always difficult to go do that. And then once you got one that was good, they'd be like, well, this is a lot more difficult than what I thought. And the hours are unpredictable, so I need to charge more. And like you would negotiate a rate with them. It'd be like, I'm going to pay you more than what you're asking for, so this doesn't happen in the future. And then they'd still do it anyways. They'd immediately come back and be like, well, that wasn't enough. And I'm like, I paid you more than what you asked for.
Jesus.
Like, and now you're trying to negotiate. And I got 3 months of bookings at this price. Now I'm going to lose money every single time you go to clean. So it's just like a bunch of small things that stacked up that I'm like, and then you talk about like the guest overall, like their behavior has drastically gotten worse.
I've heard of some crazy shit. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know what your guys' Airbnb experience has been thus far, but like
condom in the pool's pretty bad.
Yeah. But I mean, I stayed at this one Airbnb, man. I tell you what, like, I mean, I could take a minute to pull it up, but of like recent bookings from a couple years ago when I was in California. This was probably back in this was probably like 2018, I want to say, and it was an RV just parked in the fucking guy's yard, right? Like, and parked in his driveway, and it was dirt fucking cheap. It was in Huntington Beach, a couple blocks away from the beach, right? It was perfect. I was like out there. I got a friend. I got to holler at him sometimes. His name's Austin. He lives out there now. Just like a surfer, fucking, you know, big vibe. I think he works for like fucking Microsoft now, to be honest. But like there was a pool there we could fucking use. And what else was it? It was like we could shower on the inside of the house and stuff like that. And there was like a nice little like peaceful yard and stuff. But like, I mean, the guy didn't really have too many like problems, like I guess like with that, right? I mean, like I guess like you got to find a loophole where it's not going to be like too much cost effective like that. Because like I don't know, when I think of Airbnbs, right, people will think of like either like a rental house, like a, what is it, Verbo?
Yeah. That's just I think the only difference between Verbo or VRBO, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Is that's the whole house, whereas Airbnb, I think they technically allow you to rent out a portion of your house.
Okay.
So I think that's like the main distinction between them.
The two. Yeah.
Other than that, I'm like, I don't know if there is, because I stayed in one in Toronto, like it was an Airbnb.
Yeah.
When my flight was laid over, it was probably like 2019 or something like that, and it was just a bunk bed,
Jesus.
like right in the entryway of this person's like apartment building. And I'm like, it worked because I was like, just the
want a
flight got
fucking
delayed,
bed
and
to
I'm like, I
fucking
needed
lay my
someplace to
head.
sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that was fine, but Toronto's stupid expensive. I think it was still like 350 some bucks.
Jesus.
Like, luckily the airline paid for it. Like,
That's
they didn't
sick.
make any money that day.
Yeah. That's fucking
but-
gnarly.
Yeah, I think there's just a bunch of different factors into it. I'm like, I think you could probably
you've
go
seen
and
like
do it.
the weird Airbnbs on there if you've ever looked. Like there's
Yeah.
like tree houses and fucking again RVs and fucking. I mean, I've even seen shacks and shit like that, right? You know what I mean? Like for the real like random go-getter, right? It could be as luxurious as like a fucking, you know, expensive home, or it could be that. So like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's hard to say.
You always feel like it's hard because I'm like, the problem that I always struggled with is like you're in the middle of a cornfield, so like the demand.
Yeah.
Like you go to Florida and you're on the beach. These people, like, they can get away with charging a $200, $250 cleaning fee, right? Because like people are willing to probably pay $700-800 a night, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500
for a beautiful fucking
if you have like
condo.
sleep 16 people. Like if we were to all grab 8 of our closest friends and go down there and be like, hey, let's go have a weekend. We're gonna get 2 nights. It's gonna be $4,000. Like split amongst 16 people. It's like that's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Like I just had the restrictions of like it's a cornfield. People are coming in for specific things, and then you have like the weird thing of like, well, I needed it to be busy during the week to like maximize profits, and then on top of that, it's like, well, the weekends is when everybody wanted, so you're trying to set this rate of like, I don't want riffraff in there because like if I made it too cheap, then people would be like, oh my gosh, I have $90, like, and they would just immediately go in there. And that's the people,
we got a spot to smoke weed.
Yeah,
for $90.
right. It's like I got paid yesterday, and me and my 3 dipshit buddies are gonna come in there. We're gonna shit on the floor. We're gonna go do that. It's like it's all the random stuff. It's like the underage kids would book underneath their parents' name and stuff like that, and you end up with a beer wall. Like they just got like 4 rows of beer cans stacked up on like the top of the cabinets. Like they had a blast, and then they would vomit and do everything in the bed and stuff like that. And there's nothing I was going to be able to do to prevent that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you need, and like this pricing structure a lot of times is like, and luxury brands do it all the time. Chanel, Gucci, a lot of these brands, they don't go on sale. They don't go do this. They want a certain person to go and get it. Airbnb is that really weird thing of like, you can set the max amount of parameters to try to get the type of people that you want in there. at the end of the day, it's like, can your property support that? A beachside place in LA, you're probably going to be able to keep out people that would never be able to go and spend.
Putting cameras inside the outlets and shit, though. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
But people got pissed when I put cameras on the pool, and I'm like, yo, you're trashing the place. Like, I have, like, it's outside.
It's a
that's
liability.
allowed. Well, that's allowed. And I'm like, and then they were parking on the yard and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, I've spent money on this. So people got mad at that, and I'm like, they weren't even on. It was like, that was the funny part. Didn't even have them on. It was just like, please stop doing this crap. But so I'm like, it's just, I think the pricing, like how you go and get it and how you set it up. I'm sure there's people out there, and I see it all the time on like Instagram, where people have these Florida beach homes, and I'm like, I'm crushing. I'm making $200,000 a year on this one property. I'm like, yeah, probably. It's going to be booked all the time if you have a great place. It stays really clean. Your price point's high enough that you're going to get people that respect the place. Yeah, that hits on like pretty much every front of like what people are doing. And you're basically operating it like a single unit hotel. Okay. That can obviously, you get a kitchen, you get all the amenities of it, and it's more private. That, I think, Airbnb, when it first started, was probably what it was. Yeah. Now, I think everybody's issue, I'm like, if we were to go around the room and ask, like, how was your last Airbnb experience? I've stayed in ones that are perfect. Everything looks exactly like the photos. It's clean. It's this. And then I've also been into one where it's like, it feels like you got catfished. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. Like, this is no way this is the same place. And I think that's where people get frustrated, especially now when Airbnb's like $159 for the night. And then all of a sudden you like finally go to the thing and it's like $792 for 2 nights. And you're like, what the? It said $159. Because they've even jacked up their fees. Cleaning fees are ridiculous. And I'm like, a lot of times I'm like, that's just, I think, where Airbnb's got to, that people are looking for consistency. And I'd be shocked if the hotels are probably not gaining a little bit more ground now. Yeah. So I'm like, if you want to deal with it, I'm like, and the guest is the biggest thing. I don't think the quality of guests, and like I said, I'm willing to acknowledge that it might just be 100% my property of where I was at, given the geographical ramifications of where it was and kind of the general area, versus something like here in Cincinnati, like you have a place in OTR, you rent that out one night, someone's got a concert. Yeah, you could probably do pretty decent. You got tons of cleaners, you got this kind of stuff. I'm like, I think you'd probably be fine. You're a little bit insulated in the fact that it's a city up there. I'm like, any domino that falls at all, like my housekeeper decides like she wants to increase the rate and I need to go find a new one. Well, now I'm taking a risk that something changes. Dang. I think you could just have a lot more insulation here in like a bigger city or somewhere that has a massive tourist destination versus something like where it was. Yeah. It was a good experiment. It was like, it did well. Like, I'm not going to lie, when I first started it, I'm like, there were months where I'm like, that thing was helping me get through without like racking up credit card debt, which was nice. Yeah. But I'm like, anymore, I got to the point where I'm like, I don't need this thing. And I'm like, and it's just like, I'll take my money and put it somewhere else. So it was a good experience, but.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously now it's like you still work in sales.
Yep.
Still working in sales. Obviously, Tyler works in IT. Talked about a little bit what I do. Nate sells you the beer. Nate sells you the beer. He works up in one of the main beer companies here in Cincy. So, like, you went to school up there up north? You went to the high school up there?
Yeah, Versailles, small town.
Yeah.
I found that weird about Cincinnati. Like, where did you go to school?
High school?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the
You'll
only
know
question
where
that
he
matters.
went when he says it, because it's like, that's the fucking most notorious high school on the west side.
Elder High School.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
it's just a question that's so weird to me when I first moved to Cincinnati. It was like, what school? And I'm like, I went to Miami. And they're like, no, like what high school?
Oh, you went to Oxford?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I would answer that question with what college I went to, like most normal people would. But here in Cincinnati, it's like, what high school? I'm like, yo, tell me you were never leaving the city without telling me you're never leaving the city.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, no one leaves.
Yeah, it's the fucking truth. Nate went to Elder.
Shout out, Nate.
Yeah. Elder. Yeah, he went to Elder as well. I went to a public school in the west side called Oak Hills. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not too bad, but no.
Wait, so how'd you all meet?
I met Nate through caddying.
Oh, cool.
And I met Tyler through a mutual friend of ours that we used to hang around with. The guy's a drunk, but he also
we met doing drugs and drinking. Yeah. That's how we met.
Nah, yeah. Yeah, so that's how we met. I've known Nate since about probably 6th grade? Yeah, 6th, 7th grade. Then I've known Tyler since about 2019. So, yeah.
Wait, so you work in IT and you're Jamie?
I know, right?
Like, come on, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, I do all the real IT. He just
Oh yeah.
he's the Google guy,
Gotcha.
fact checker, pretty much.
Yeah.
So who edits this thing?
Me.
Okay.
I do all the.
There you go.
yeah.
I'll give you your props then. Like if you're gonna make him go do it, I'm like, bro.
It'd be nice if he did. It's
Teach
not that
him.
hard work.
Yeah.
It might take a couple hours, but yeah.
How long you been doing IT? Teach me about IT. I don't know anything about it. I don't. Is it fun?
I've been doing the job for like 3 years, but it's like a stepping stone sort of thing. So it's like I'm trying to get into networking because that was my degree. So it's working my way up, though I'm getting pretty lazy about it because I'm like working from home. I'm like, this is pretty comfortable. I don't want to fucking.
Would you like help people like log into passwords and like what like
I do that.
device registrations?
A lot of software repair stuff. It's all remote. I don't have to see these people.
Yeah.
So,
Sweet.
I mean, the basics, passwords or software, or hey, how do I get to this website? I'll give you the link and you click on it. Just a lot of dumb shit. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't imagine
the
level of questions
I'm
you
not
get on a
gonna lie,
day-to-day
though, right?
basis.
The world of IT where it blows me in half, like thinking about it, is like I've never had an IT service. Like I've never been the guy to like, say like I need help with this. Like, right? Like who are these people? Like I guess because we're pretty tech savvy, I guess, right? I guess we've grown up in. But like,
I'm like the worst millennial ever when it comes to technology. We could light it all on fire for all I care.
Yeah, I get that. But like, I don't know. Like, I guess it's like companies have contracts and they call a third party fucking IT company. Like,
that's it.
yeah.
Is that your situation?
Yeah. I'm a
So you guys are-
contractor for
gotcha.
like contractor for this company, but I'm also a contractor for a subcontractor for my company. So I couldn't tell you exactly who I work for because I don't really know. It's always changing.
As long as he clocks in, he
Yeah.
gets
Right.
fucking paid.
But
All the questions are still dumb.
yeah, I mean, it's mostly like boomers. Like it's
Oh, yeah,
older
yeah.
people who just don't know what. I mean, it's also like women, but no offense. But it's dumb shit. Like they'll. I've had some pretty stupid calls or
Like,
whatever.
what was the dumbest thing that happened today?
Nothing too dumb today. I was
It was
just
a good day then.
Yeah, it was okay. But I've had people call in and be like I can't turn my computer on, and they're pressing the wrong button completely. Or why is my internet not working? Hey, look in the back of the computer. Is the network cable plugged in? Oh shit, no, it's not.
How does that
would've
that doesn't
been the
make any
first
sense?
step.
It's like how does it get unplugged? Like someone would have had to unplug it.
Maybe. I mean, people
Like,
like
when someone's playing a prank on them, like
It's possible.
come on,
It's
like,
possible.
which would be a fun prank.
Now it's kind of fun when people like don't understand the difference between like I'm IT, I can help you get connected to your home internet. I'm not your home internet company. It's like, well, my home internet's not working. I'm like, dude, you got to call AT&T or somebody. Like, it's kind of out of my hands at this
Well, you
point.
just tell them reset the modem or router. or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I mean sometimes just to get them off the phone. Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's right.
just shut
Well,
down the
it's not
computer.
your job.
Just shut down the computer. I'll still be here, maybe. Thank God. Yeah.
Lost connection. That's when you just say, give me your cell phone number in case we get disconnected, so it actually feels like
Right.
you're gonna give them a call back, even though it's like that's not me. That's the
And then
That's the
and then
wireless
make
company.
them sit through another waiting line,
Yeah.
go through the whole verification again. What's your name? How are you? What's your problem?
yeah.
And then they're pissed at the next guy. So it's
yeah.
it's a chain
Some other
reaction.
faceless contractor.
Yeah. I'm very faceless at that job. I don't even have like
A profile
the best
picture.
they could know is like my profile picture, and it just has my initials on it. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm anonymous to these people, but they know I do my job. I'm just like somewhere else. I'm just out there doing my job.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's gonna be nice, like, because you don't have to go to an office. You don't have to do anything.
Deal
work
with
from home.
psychological.
What's the worst part
shit
about
with
working
other
from
people.
home?
I don't think there really is a worst part.
Not
It's
a
pretty
worst part?
dope, honestly.
I was gonna say that's what I would guess.
Like it's
Yeah.
very convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, some people get turned off by it. They're like, "Oh, I can't separate my home from my job." Blah. I'm like, I don't fucking care, dude. I can clock
He's got
off.
like an office. He just like
Yeah, I can
walks
clock
out of his
off.
office.
Clock off. I'm already home. I can do what I want to do. It's like
Yeah. No commute. You don't have to curse everybody's names driving down the street.
I get more sleep that way,
Yeah.
and it's just like more convenient. And they haven't made us go in the office anyway. It's like, what's the point? I'm doing the same shit.
Was it remote when you first started? Yeah, I was gonna say most IT positions
that was because of
seem
COVID,
like
though. I think pushed
gotcha.
it, but they were threatening for a while to put us in the office, but they eventually were like, nobody wants to fucking go in the office. So yeah.
What makes it? Yeah, exactly. Why would you want to fucking get up every day, shower, dress up,
drive
just to go do the same fucking
I'm
shit?
Still sitting at a desk either way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's, like, you have a position, like, again, you have a position which you do not physically need to be in the office to go do. I'm like, your job, I'm going to work remote. I'm like, you could do it. Like, you can 100% do Zoom calls. But I'm like, there's probably some value being in the room and being in front of the people, being a human.
Being able to reciprocate back to them, everything like that. Yeah, I mean, the part-time job I could, but yeah.
The landscaping?
Landscape.
I'd like to landscape remotely, please.
Fucking
just press a button.
For real. Nah, I mean, yeah, it's good shit. I like doing that because that's not even like a job to me. Like the physical labor, it doesn't scare me because it's like I'm out there with my buddy. I used to do that for like 4 fucking years
fun.
of my life. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna say
go trim some bushes, dig some edges, sling some fucking mulch. I mean, and it's mostly like simple fucking landscaping. Like my boy Hurley, he doesn't get into like the crazy shit. Like I don't know, like when I fucking did it with our old friend of ours, like we'd do fucking everything. I'm talking like completely resod someone's backyard, fucking, completely rip out someone's property and then fucking redo it all. It's just like crazy ass shit, laying gravel driveways, laying fucking doing all types of shit, right? But like my buddy Hurley, it's just like, oh, we got a house, we got a mulch. It's like already pretty much prepped. Fucking hit the edge real quick. Fucking trim a couple bushes. It's
Do you guys have one of those like? Does he have one of those like mulching machines that like spits it out?
No, he's
like,
got a fucking. It's not like we're shoveling out of the back of a truck. He's got like a dump trailer, not a dump truck.
So you got to
but
break your back.
Dump trailer. Yeah, no, he just shovel it out of the trailer into the wheelbarrow. Fucking go out, And
Have you seen those trucks?
I have. I've seen them on Instagram.
They freaking look insane.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen big ones that are like commercial where they actually have like a reverse vacuum on them, and they just like you ever see like big fucking neighborhoods or whatever, like they just shoot it out. And then there's like obviously like I've seen conveyor belts like on backs of trucks and shit, but yeah, it's fucking simple cake work, and it's nice because it's just like I used to do it for so long, where it's just like second nature. It's just like boom, 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 done.
Landscaping is one of those things like I think why so many guys love it. Cause I'm like, it's one of the rare things in life where you get near instant gratification.
Yeah.
So like we talk about all these different things. It's like when you sit in the sun, there's no tangible effects. Like I feel a little bit better, but I'm like, you can't have no tangible things. You go running for months and months and months, and before anything like really shows up, like, oh, I lost 5 pounds or my times have dropped. I'm like, landscaping is like I literally grab my fucking mower, I put gas in it, like, and boom, I got some straight ass lines in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, it is so rare because everything else is so delayed. Then I'm like, it's one of those things. I'm just like, it makes a lot of sense why people love landscaping.
And I mean, like, it's like my buddy Jordan. He didn't go to college. He loves doing that, right? Like you make great fucking money doing it, and especially here in the Midwest where every fucking boomer wants mulch, right? You know what I mean? Like, I want red, I want brown, I want fucking black, and then you'll have the weird ones like, I want fine shredded, like, you know what I mean? Like, and we'll like, I mean, like, fucking. When I used to landscape,
mulch. I got pine straw here.
Yeah, pine straw's fire. That shit's easy to lay out.
Yeah,
that looks good in a lot of areas. That's an easy coverage. But like
hides ivy too.
Yeah, it does.
And grows like crazy.
Fuck. But our old buddy Nick, I mean, dude, like he'd be like, yeah, we'll get you fine shredded. Don't worry. And we just go get standard black. Like, yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
What did they say about it?
They'd be like, it looks good. They're just happy because they're old as fuck. They're paying off paying with their 401k or whatever. So like, as long as they're not out in the yard,
they're just happy it's done.
Yeah, and it looks fucking good. And then like, you have people too that are like real anal about it, like fuckers that'll sit out there on their porch in a chair and just watch you. They'll just watch you fucking do it, and then it's like it's nothing for me though. I'll just have my AirPods in and go to fucking town, and I know, like. Obviously in a lot of aspects, it's like not good to be cocky, but like once you like work in a trade for so long, you become just like a perfectionist at it, and it's second nature. So it's like, it ain't nothing to me on that note, but it's like, Yeah, I mean, then you have some people that are like, all right, I want fucking mulch before fucking Memorial Day weekend, and then I want mulch again before 4th of July. Because they're want
mulching
the color.
Twice?
Yeah, like I've had homeowners that because they just want it to look good for their fucking party. They want it to have color still.
Dude, that's insane.
Oh yeah. And then like I've rarely experienced, like, you'll rarely experience these type of people that'll like, they'll have you rake up the entire fucking mulch, like all of the old mulch from last year, and then fucking lay fresh mulch, right? Because they don't want it to be too thick. They don't want it to be I mean, you get some fucking really anal motherfucking people out there, but like 9.9 times out of 10, people are just happy somebody else is coming in to do the work and happy to write you a check, right? Mm-hmm. Like it really is a good trade, and I'm grateful for that trade, right? Because like, the field I work in today, right? And I always try to differentiate myself on this podcast. Sometimes I get off the fucking wall. I'll throw this water bottle through a door, you know what I mean, or through a wall or some shit. Like I'll get crazy on here, right? I always try to differentiate, like, my professional self to like my more wild self, because it's not like, hey, I'm giving the podcast to everyone at my work. Like, I really don't fucking tell people I do a podcast. Like, we try to differentiate. Like, I had one buddy, Michael, who like was like sort of on the podcast. Like when I was in California, we were doing a Zoom podcast, and he's like, "Don't say my name on that podcast. Don't tell them who you're with or whatever." I'm like, my job can find me through the fucking internet, and like was like going down a rabbit hole, talking about like bad acid trip type vibe, dude. And like, you know what I mean? Like he just like went into a parallel, but it's like, he's like, I could be blacklisted from my fucking career because of this. Like, I could, like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys say some racist shit on there. You guys say some homophobic shit. You guys say some political stuff. I could be, rabbit holed into it. Like, and it's just like, I always, again, I try to differentiate myself. But, like, going back to the point I was talking about is just like, it's a good trait to have. Yeah. Right? Like, whatever shit hits the fan, or I decide one day I don't want to work in the field I'm in, it's like that's always going to be there. My friend Jordan always could fucking use my hand full time, because like the help he has are just a bunch of drunks, and like, you know what I mean. And I relate because I lived that life.
It's the trades. Like most of the trades is that way.
Exactly, blue collar. It's like
they care more about having fun than getting the job done.
Exactly.
Make it the least horrible they can make it.
Yep.
If that's showing up late, don't care. If
waking up at 7 a.m., having a twist of tea and fucking doing some cocaine throughout the day, some Miller Lights and some shots of gas station Fireball. I mean, that's what it would come down to, right? And I think that was just like the part where I was very lost at that point in my life, right? I didn't want to grow up, so I think that's like where it was. But I generally love what I do today. I'm really grateful for it, and I like. Again, it's just another good field to have. Like, that's always going to be happening, right? I mean, no matter who's in fucking office, no matter what's going on, people's yards are going to need to be looking okay. So it's like,
it's also just good to have skills. I'm like, because if you own a house, like you get a house, like at some point, it's like just even
get
doing
myself
that,
a steel backpack blower, a steel fucking 91 trimmer,
to go
get myself
a
decent mower, get myself a fucking spade, get myself a fucking scoop shovel, a nice rake.
Yep.
I'm gonna be all right. Yep. You know what I mean? Yeah, that is true. It's very true. Like I just did my girlfriend's yard up. That was like heavily neglected, right? Like, you know what I mean? And their
she
mower
wasn't
broke.
doing it. Wasn't
I had to get her.
Yeah.
I got her the newer mower.
Starts,
you know what I mean? And yeah, like I fucking had to go do it because it was just neglected. And it's just like, it's nice, right? It's like nothing to me because I'm just like beep 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 beep. But
second nature.
Yeah.
Well, it just makes it feel so much better, like when you pull up to your house and it like looks nice.
Dude, exactly.
But then you get the people, which that's always funny. Like I don't know if you're any of you on like next door to the app. Like so many people complain. It's like I just saw one the other day, and it was this lady, and she was like, I don't understand why anybody would ever spray the grass with those harmful pesticides. Like, you got to be dumb, stupid, or like ignorant. And I'm like, yeah, like some people have different preferences. Like, dude, it's just like, again, I'm like
yeah. They wanted a fucking.
You're mad because
organic,
their yard looks good. Like, again, go grow your own shit.
Well, I mean, the reason why people spray
whatever.
those pesticides is to fucking keep the weeds out of their yard, to keep their plush grass. I mean, my parents' grass fucking is dog shit, right? You know what I mean? It ain't fucking some fine Bermuda or fucking, whatever. It's just like, that's what happens.
Yeah, but I think a lot of these people are saying that they want like just like imagine like a field out like on the side of a highway. That's what they want these people's yards to be. And I'm like, cool, make your yard
those
that
are the
way.
More
but like other
artsy,
people
fartsy,
have like the bees are gonna die and like go and do this. And I'm like, that's great. Like
I'm gonna fucking
make your shit nice for
I'm
the
gonna
bees.
eat the onions nice that are growing wild in my fucking yard. Right? Yeah,
yeah. I want a dog that enjoys being it instead of getting like thorns and track and shit all over the house.
Exactly, right? And gets fucking whatever the fuck this shit's called, mealworm or
Mealworm,
whatever it's called, like the fucking rabies or not rabies, but whatever. Like
when you get in a fight with a raccoon, then
yeah, right. Yeah, it's fucking wild. I gotta ask, right? I gotta ask because I want to know the wild side of Cody, right?
Yeah.
I want to know. The viewers want to know the wild side of Cody,
yeah,
right?
Do they?
We want some like fucking spoof right here, right? We need some spoof. So like, what do you think's one of the most wild fucking things you've ever done in your life? You're gonna be like, I went to Bonnaroo, I was tripping dick on ketamine, and I fucking
yeah.
Well, that's no.
And again, like it's not
dick. No, like, well, they're pretty. I mean, I think it moved a lot, and again, used to live in the back, like living in the forest. That's pretty wild. Most people would consider that's wild.
Definitely.
It wasn't like drug. I mean, again, like living in a tent for 4 months. It was pretty insane. I had a blast going and doing it. Lived in a bunch of different places, like definitely done drugs. Like you can get blitzed off. I mean, there's tons of stories about that shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Bear hunting was a freaking nuts. Like,
tell me one
story.
about your craziest drug stories.
Oh, drug. Oh, you want the drug? Okay. Detroit. We went up to. I'll give you one. So we went.
He already started with Detroit.
Yeah, that's right, Detroit. I would 10 out of 10 not recommend Detroit to anyone.
Dude, I've been there like fucking
Shithole.
once, other than the airport when we commuted through from back.
Shithole.
Bro,
Shithole.
You see why Eminem was the way he fucking was, dog. It's bad, dude. Everything's abandoned and
8 Mile, more like Skid Row. It's bad. That trip was like weird. So we did.
I'm getting out of this like
so
he had a Coke plug up there.
We did acid, and that was like the first time I'd ever done it, which I love it. It's great. So we did acid, and we took like half a tab, which thank the Lord, because otherwise I'd have been like off a cliff. But we were up there for a Niners Lions game. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Oh shit!
Walked up. We were in the GM like Ford like hotel, whatever the hell that was. So we're like pretty damn high up.
It's all I've seen that.
Yeah, looking at like the river. So we go out and do that, get drinks, and it was just like again.
You were drinking on the tabs and shit.
Well,
or is this leading into the tabs?
So we took the tabs,
That's how
you
you
got a
usually
drink or two, and then like again before I'm like, I don't know, I'm like I don't feel anything, and then all of a sudden I went to go grab my fucking drink, and it just felt like there's no way I could grab it. I just like extendo fucking armed it like. So like you grab it, and then all of a sudden I looked in the mirror, and it felt like the mirror was this fucking close. And you're like, oh shit, dude, like I'm gone.
The freight train came into town.
It was nuts. But then like we're walking up and down these damn streets, and I'm like, again, that's supposed to be the nice area of Detroit. And I'm not kidding. I can't tell you how many cars would be like Bentleys, like just shit that'd be parked outside, and then there'd be people literally basically fucking on the side of the street, slinging drugs on the side of the street. It was like there's own like rap concerts going on where people just have their windows down and they were chilling on the street. It was like the weirdest shit ever.
Sounds just like Clifton or like OTR.
Like in the downtown. I know, it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on here? Like, where are the police? Like, this shit is so loud. So you're walking through this, and it just feels like you're in a different place. Like, there's like, this is atypical. So you're like mad tripping and like smells, scents, everything like to the max, reek like ass. Get down to the street. I can't remember what the hell the street was called, but it's like one of their popular like bar streets. And
we'll just call it like your fucking Broadway down in Nashville.
Yeah, right. So it was like whatever the hell that street is, a rainy street in like Austin. But it had like this street that was going down, and like all these people was like massive, and they had this fucking cop tower. Like I don't know if you've seen like this extendo arm, like a scissors lift.
Yeah, I've seen scissor lifts.
And they had these like cops. So this cop obviously sitting in this thing, and they have like all these people walking, and there's a cop in the middle of the fucking street. And I was dying because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. This person is down on his back, and like they have like his arm like jammed into the back of this guy's head in the middle of the crosswalk, and people are walking over this dude. Like there's like the cops aren't doing anything. There's the arm in his back. Cops, like people walking over the cops. The tower's just going up and down. I don't know what the hell it was, like malfunctioning or something, like trying to get a viewpoint.
Sounds like the street in Vegas, whatever the old street is.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Fremont.
Yeah, sounds like Fremont.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it was kind of like that, which I don't think it was as popping as that, but I'm like, because Fremont's actually really cool.
Meanwhile, you're like fear and loathing right now.
Yeah, so it's just like the weirdest shit, and then people are just like walking by like nothing's happening, and like when you're on that, like you get into your freaking fields, I'm like, dude, we treat people so bad. Like, basically like beating this person, like, and people are just walking over them, and then we go and like I was so gone. I was literally like, I can hear what's gonna happen. I can hear the future. Like, it's just like that far gone. Start walking down all these streets, see all these lights, and I thought like, I have a photo of my phone, but I'm like this one thing, and it was like, I swear to God, it was like moving, and I'd be like, dude, I can 100%. There's a car coming in 5 seconds, and it'd be like, boom, 5 seconds, it would come by. So I was like, feel like I was predicting the future, and then he wanted to go. He was not doing well. He was worse than I was. So I was like talking to a fucking dead wall. Like, there's no point in me talking because he was worse than I was. We get up to the hotel room and he's like, dude, can you shut up? Like, I need to like just be all right. And I would just sit like
he got creepy,
like, my arms out the windows like this, looking at the river. And it'd be the GM sign. They would go from like red to green to blue.
Yeah.
And like, again, I swear to God, I could see the future. It's like you could tell when the colors were changing, and it was like this imperceptible difference. But the color off the water, it would go from like the red, it was really hard to see, and then when it start to change to blue, you'd like the whole river would light up. And I just sat there for like 4 hours and being like, dude, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. And again, it's just a fucking light change on the thing up there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got that was another thing. When we were out doing that, we found someone dropped money. We tried to give it back to them. These bitches were literally like, they're like, you fucking, it's not my money. You're just trying to hit on me. You're trying to go do this. Like, no, you dropped like $20-some. And they were like giving us the biggest like shit over like finding money that they had dropped and like trying to give it back to them. Detroit, 0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Different. You're just like, oh, I'll keep it.
For real.
Yeah. Then we went to the game and
what'd you say?
Then we went to the game, the football game, and we won. That was actually a really close game. That was actually pretty fun to go do.
Were you rooting for Detroit or the 49ers?
49ers. I'm a 49ers fan.
Okay.
Fuck the Bengals.
I give it to you. I respect it.
Fuck the Bengals. We destroyed the Bengals.
I respect sports. I respect everyone's POV on it. It's like I respect it. Everyone's got their team. It's like the NFL fucking fan shop. It's like fucking be your team.
It's a cult.
He said it's a cult. Damn. So that's crazy. That's crazy.
Mexico, there's some pretty good raves too. We'd be out for like 12 hours.
Raves?
Yeah.
Dang.
Like in the jungle. They actually had some pretty cool ones. So I traveled Mexico for 2.5 months.
Holy fuck. I think I remember you telling me a bit about it.
Like we were outside of, I think it was Tulum, and Tulum has like, it's where all like the influencers and shit. We didn't go out to like the beach section where everything's like, all the hotels are like $1,000 a night. Yeah. We just did hostels in like the city center. But we did like several raves where you'd go out and it's like in the middle of the jungle.
Since an ayahuasca.
Yeah. So it's pretty nuts because like a lot of times like you would get like people would have different like the variety of drugs like ketamine, different things like that, coke. But the cartel, which is so nuts, the cartel is there trying to sell products.
Bro, this is fire. This is gonna lead into another story.
They strip search you. Not strip search you, but they like check you for drugs on your way in, steal your drugs, and then immediately turn around and are like, so you want to buy some drugs? It's like right when you walk in. It's like the weirdest thing ever. So you know they're probably selling the drugs that you brought in and had already paid for. And then like you do like these all-night raves, and then like you don't even know because like you're on drugs and then drinking. Yeah. And you like party till the sunrise. It might be like 9 p.m. till 9 a.m. I'm
just thinking about when me and him walked out of Larry Flint's Hustler Hollywood strip club in Vegas, and it was just the sun coming up. Yeah. We were like, fuck.
Yeah. So is that like there's just like this what they call a cenote? It's like a clear, super clear body of water, and it's like that was there the entire time. You had no fucking idea it was there. Jeez. So I'm like, yeah, I was like in the jungle, like your people are like sneaking off, like going trying to do the drugs, doing all that kind of shit. I'm sure people were trying to like hook up and shit like that as well too. But yeah, it was like pretty cool times in traveling in Mexico. That was like it was a pretty great time.
Dude, that was probably crazy.
Lots of raves.
Damn. Yeah, I've never been to a rave. I mean, I call a rave is like the mock beat downtown. Yeah. They're gonna get a gambling hall is what I've heard there soon.
Oh really?
Legal gambling operation.
Cameron might install one.
Yeah, he's gonna bookie it out of the
You been to the mock beat before?
What?
You been to the mock beat?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's just like
no.
Like
what was it? Gala? It was Gala like the club before.
No, I worked at Gala.
Did you? Wasn't it like the club of like if Cincinnati had a club that would have to be the closest thing?
It was. I worked there. It was actually funny, right? I want to lead into a cartel story, but I worked there as security when I was like fucking 4 or 5 months sober. Right? Crazy shit. Crazy shit. I mean, I found coke on the ground a couple times. I mean, there were fuckers throwing singles and shit on the air, and I was just picking them up. Like, you know, yeah, on God. Like,
for what? There's not even strippers.
Oh, yeah. No, just like, you know how like people are, right? Like, people go get a fucking outfit off Shein. People get a fucking, you know, some fake jewelry, you know, right? They get their fucking, they got their COVID check or whatever, you know, and they fucking just trying to think they're somebody, right? You get a bottle of Azul or whatever, fucking, you know, Casamigos and shit. And yeah, I mean, that was crazy. That was a crazy experience because like I was sober as fuck in there, you know what I mean? Like I was just experiencing like all the different people and watching people and shit, and I always had my eyes on the floor because I was security. But like when some shit broke out, I'd just get one of the big black dudes to go do it. Exactly. I'm just a skinny little white guy. I'm surprised they even hired me.
They're paying me minimum wage.
Yeah, because you go to bars and shit, but club security's like
Big Bubba,
fucking Bubba, like, you know. So like, yeah, and I mean, I just like would check IDs at the door, or like I'd like watch the back door and shit. I mean, I actually got fired from there, right? This is fire, right? Because they would have like certain DJs come and people to, you know, perform there and shit, right? And they would sell tickets to get in, right? When it's normally just, it's free to get in, right? And when those like DJs would come or certain people would come, they'd sell tickets and shit. And like what the ticket was a wristband. Right, so I knew where the wristbands were held in the back fucking office. Right, I'd get a fucking couple wristbands, and you know I'd be on the side door and shit, and people would be walking in and be like, "Fuck, it's $50 or whatever." Be like, "I got you." I'll be like, "I got you in for $25." They'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm selling wristbands. Get you, come on." I'd just rack my Venmo up, and it was the New Year's Eve party of like 21 to 22, I think. Yeah, 21 to 22. It was a New Year's Eve party, right? And this guy named Mercer owned the place, right? You know, real like fucking, you know what I mean? Fucking like, you know, just like a fucking beefhead motherfucker, right? You know,
right? Slim Jims for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. Damn. And it was the New Year's Eve party, and they were charging like whatever it was, like $50 or $60 for a fucking wristband to get in that motherfucker for the ball drop. I mean, I was fucking on the side, you know what I mean? And
25.
Watching the door because, like, you know, I was at 2 different places. Like, you know, they'd either not, I wasn't checking IDs. I'd either, like, let people out, right? And as soon as someone goes out, I'd have to close the door, right? You know what I mean? Like, you can't come back in, right? As soon as you leave. And then there was an outdoor patio area, and there was a side door. And, like, then there was, like, a little rope to get into the patio area. And, dude, I racked up, like, probably, like, close to $500 on my Venmo, bro. I'm talking, like, I was just slanging wristbands, right? And I was just about to hit one lick, bro. I was about to hit one lick. And I'm fucking sober doing this shit, too. So, like, you know what I mean? That's the addict brain. You know, you can't, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm making fucking pennies there being a security officer, right? You know, if someone tips you for being nice or something, you know, holding the door for his bitch while she's stumbling out, you know, you might get a 20, but...
Jeez.
I racked up like almost $500 in my Venmo, and I was just about to like have this kid. It was my last like 3 wristbands I had in my pocket because I grabbed a handful of those fuckers, right? It was my last 3, dude. I was about to like get another like 100 and whatever, like $20 Venmo'd to me, right? And I was like not even about to charge them like for like each one like expensively. And the owner just comes up, fucking grabs me by the shoulder from behind, dude. Okay. And he's like, "You're gone." And I was like, "That's cool." I was like, "Let me just get my winter coat.
I made more tonight than I did last 3
weeks. I'm going to hop on the fucking Metro bus, and I'm going to go back to Price Hill to my sober living, cocksucker." I'm like, "I'm good." That's like, you know, more money that I'd make in a fucking couple weekends or whatever there. So, like, I was like, "That's cool. I'm gone, bro. I'm fucking gone." Like... Yeah, so that was a crazy experience, but that place got shut down real quick. Obviously, like a BetMGM place now. I haven't been in there.
Me neither. I didn't know. Like I kept hearing they're going to change it to something. I'm going down to
the Reds game tomorrow. I might pop in or something. You know, place a $5 bet just for fucks and giggles or whatever. Yeah. But no, yeah, that was a crazy fucking time. That was a real nightclub here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was gonna say that has to be the closest one.
It was.
So if you're from like any other major city, and you're just like, "Where's the place to go?" And I'm like, "A club?" I'm like,
dude, I mean,
like I said, ain't really got that. It was like
Black Slacks.
was it Igby's? What is what's on? Is that Igby's?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Igby's would be like, I don't even know. Like, there's really not.
Tiny.
And like
There's
Gala
not
would be the
now.
only thing
Yeah.
that would have been
Where,
like close.
Sports players and shit would come into, right? And like, yeah, I mean, I just feel like,
because they had like bottle service, which again, it's like if you're gonna have a club, like you almost have to have that.
Come out with the sparklers and their tits and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's the only place that I could even think of that I'm like in Cincinnati that I think would fit like that requirement
There's
for
still
like any
one.
sort
There's
of
still
club.
a gala in Columbus.
Oh, is there? I didn't know.
Still
it was,
one gala in Columbus. Yeah, from what I know, but. Yeah, now it's like there's not. It was the city was hating Gala. The city of Cincinnati.
I'm like, I feel like it was probably did well.
Yeah, it did very well. But the city of Cincinnati hated Gala, and like they sold food till like whatever it was 11 p.m. or something.
Oh,
so
late.
Drunk people could get chicken tenders. But
Tendies.
Yeah, but I mean, it was the city hated them because they were operating as under a bar, and they were more of a club.
Is there a distinction? I didn't even know there was a distinction. They also hate that gas station.
It's all politics. It's all politics. You know what I mean? Like it's taxes and fees and shit you would pay to the city for having a club versus a bar, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, the city was like pissed with them about it. So eventually they shut down operation.
That's nuts.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. I was gonna lead into one little last story, I guess, because we're already over like a fucking hour mark. My fucking woman's tripping dick. It's all good. She's like, you said an hour. She said, you started doing that 2 hours ago. 2 hours. I love you. Jeez. No, I read the story, right? And Nate, can you pull it up and pull up the Funky Town cartel video description? Dang. So I was on like fucking Twitter the other day, right? Twitter's a wasteland, right? Because they don't have any like jurisdiction, they can post porn, they can post whatever, people dying.
Is it seriously? I've never had Twitter.
Oh, really?
Never.
So X, obviously, it ain't Twitter no more.
Yeah, that's right. You're dead naming it.
Yeah, it's just X. X, obviously, because it's owned by fucking
Because it's X-rated.
Yeah,
Pretty
hold on.
much.
I'll call you right back. We're just about done. I love you, baby. You can start heading to my house, though. Oh, she hung up.
She's mad.
Oh, she calling back. Yeah. Look up the Funky Town cartel video description. You can start heading to my house, baby. Okay, I know. We went a little over. We're having fun. All right. All right. I'll call you here in a couple minutes. We're almost done. Okay. I love you. Bye. Did you find it?
On YouTube?
No, just like on Google. Just type in like Funky Town cartel video description. Just any fucking, I guess, possibly a Reddit form. Yeah. So anyway, like I was like on X, right? Because dude, it showed you could watch like people getting shot, killed, like blown up, fucking beat up, everything, right? There's just massive amounts of porn on there now. It's like it's a crazy thing. So anyway, this Funky Town cartel video, I tried for hours to find it, and I couldn't find it through all the deepest, darkest Reddit forums. It sounds like this video got wiped from the internet, but like, because you're talking about the cartel, and it's kind of sparked it.
Yeah, it just says on Reddit, Funky Town is a video of a cartel torturing a guy by cutting his arms off, off his face, all while he's still alive. Eventually, they slit his throat and he dies.
Okay. I got a different description. I kind of want Nate to read it.
That sounds like a bad time.
All right, this is about to be a
This
long
is descriptive.
description.
This is descriptive.
In the video, a fully conscious man is bound with what appears to be a rope on a ceramic floor. His hands have been cut off down to the stumps, but he still struggles from the pain and has to be restrained by a couple of guys in addition to the binding. The skin of his face has been peeled off to reveal the muscle and bone underneath as it twitches. One of the guys is continuing to work at the flesh of the neck with a box cutter, peeling to cause pain while being careful enough to not hit any major artery or vein so that the victim does not die quickly. He's also kept alive with an IV drip of saline and adrenaline so he can stay awake and not die of dehydration. The victim continues to cry out in pain or gargle out on his own blood, while in the background the song Funky Town
plays. This goes on for several minutes along with some other music. It's an example of a torture hurting another human for no other purpose than to cause pain while keeping them alive for as long as possible. The victim won't survive. Too much flesh is removed and infection will likely be what eventually kills them. But it could be days, maybe even a week of nothing but agony. So that's basically a much longer description than what I saw.
Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. I just
think they're going to be able to clean the floors?
Dude,
why are you watching this shit?
I don't know. I just like, because like, dude, you get on Twitter or X or whatever, and you're just like, all right, well, where the fuck's it at? Because you see people talking about it. I couldn't find the video, but I found a description of it, and I was like, dude, what the fuck?
So there is some line.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's what I heard about. There's like Twitter. Like when you're talking about, it's like it's anything goes, and I'm like, well, but apparently they said that's too far.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, that does sound like I don't know. I don't know who would be wanting to watch that on in their free time. Like,
I mean,
I don't even watch horror
I
movies
know
because
what
I'm
you
like, I
mean.
don't need to be
But
sitting.
like,
I'm like,
Twitter puts you into
life
a
is pretty
different
good.
trip. Like it's some like crazy off the wall shit. So it's just like weird, right? But it's just like, damn, you got to experience cartel yourself. So like, that's fucking crazy. Like, you know,
yeah,
what I mean?
like ours was. I mean, again, it's like you couldn't even tell the difference. Like the only time you could tell was like the second that it's like if there were drugs involved, 100% is cartel. Like there is nothing. And again, let's be honest, like, the drugs sucked there because they sell over here. Like all the good shit that they're moving here. Like they're not like they're not selling like maybe if you get into like Mexico City, like the nice parts of like maybe they're major metropolitan areas, but I'm like outside of that, I'm like they're just peddling like crap, and it's like because you can't. There's nothing else available. Like you're going to the cartel, they take their money, they sell these drugs, and then they're buying up like Tulum. A lot of the areas like Cancun, most of that shit, I'm pretty sure is like all cartel.
Damn.
They own it. They take their drug money and then get it into real assets, and it's like, and what are you gonna do? I'm like, now it's real. Like,
Damn.
how are you gonna take it away? How are you gonna strip it? Like, that's Mexico's tourism. Like, pretty much along that whole entire coastline.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
And it's
yeah, like I've always like
your government ain't gonna do anything.
I've always been scared to go to Mexico for real. Like I don't.
My mom was not happy. I didn't even tell her.
Yeah.
But I was going, and she got found out because my parents did not have social media of any kind. Never happened.
Really?
There's no way they never will.
Holy shit.
Like.
That's crazy. It's Nate.
But my mom found out through obviously like aunts, uncles, and she's like, oh yeah, like Cody's in Mexico. And she's like, oh, didn't know that. Like he must just be there for vacation. I'm like, no, he's been there for like 2 months now. Like, and she got real pissed.
Damn.
Yeah, she got real pissed.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So she sends me still to this day articles of like those three, I guess, two American surfers, and then like that Australian that was like I guess made news. And I'm like, yeah, but like Mexico, I think has like 4 million people visit a year. I'm like, again, it's pretty small. Like the likelihood of something happening. Like
it's pretty cheap to go there, ain't it?
Yeah, Mexico's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mexico's pretty cheap. I mean,
I heard though you can buy drugs like over the counter at the pharmacies down there. Like you could buy cocaine
that's interesting because like
pharmacy.
when we were there, I'm like you'd walk into the pharmacy and we got denied because they would be like you need a prescription. So I don't know if like getting the prescription is way easier or like if you like and I know it's like if you have a prescription you could show I think your American prescription or like and just be like this is what I need and I think you would get it really easy. I also think it's way cheaper, but I'm like I don't know what the heck someone was like trying to get. Can't remember. It was just for like a plane ride, like something like Xanax maybe or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
And they were like, "You need a prescription," and like we didn't speak Spanish. And I'm like, I don't know what they're saying. They just kept like pointing to like a script essentially, and just being like, and we were like, I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah.
So we just ended up walking out, and then we asked people, and it's like, oh no, like that's what everybody tells you. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure like they still have. Maybe in like small towns and stuff like that, they're probably like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
like, Tijuana, maybe I don't know. But I'm like, we were in Mexico City, and I'm like. Be like being in New York and being like, I'm gonna go sell tobacco to a minor. Yeah. Probably not gonna fly.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
And you're white, so they're like,
gringo.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got no favors. The amount of times where I'd be like, I want that, like this. I got this, like what do they call it? Like poncho, like those wool ponchos or like overthrows or whatever.
Yeah. The drug drug rug.
Yeah, so like, it just goes over and it's got the little hood. It was freaking dope. And I'm like, I was getting ready to leave, and one of my buddies like that I met traveling, he was from Holland. His name was Ross, but his mom was originally from Ecuador, so he looked Spanish, like looked Mexican, but then like again was from Holland, so he spoke like 3 or 4 different languages. And he would go in anytime I wanted to go buy something, I'd be like, I want that, like go negotiate the price. And he would just literally walk in there and be like, oh yeah, talk to him in Spanish, and they'd be like, oh awesome, like I'll get that. It would be like, it's called like 1,000 pesos, and he'd be like, okay, it's 500 pesos, like go in there. And like we learned that he just had to buy it, and I had to like basically give him the money back, because the second I'd walk back in, they'd be like, oh, it's 1,000 pesos, and I'm like, and he would walk in and be like, no, like you told me 500, and he's like, for you, not for gringo. And all you would hear is gringo, and I'd be like, oh yeah, like no, not for him. And it's like, bro, like he's not like from here either. Like I don't know what the hell the distinction is, because he speaks Spanish. Like that's pretty bullshit.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, like that was the one nuts thing about Mexico, is like there are like the real small places, like if you go to like local like small towns and villages or restaurants, it'd be just like street fare, like just small like mom and pop restaurants in Mexico. They'll treat you like absolute royalty.
Yeah, because
they will not
want
screw
your
you.
money.
They will not take your money. Like they will not. But like if you like your tip, you go into like cities and they see like gringo, they'll 100% like so many times where people just like you put the money, and like you get pretty good at like knowing currency like relatively quick, and they just like hand back like your bill, and you'd be like, well, I left like easily $10 to $15. Like you had like a whatever, like the change, and it should be like 10 to 15 US dollars coming back, and they would just keep it. And you'd be like, no, like, and you have to pull out the menu, circle it, go through the whole shitstorm that is like trying to explain when they know 100% what the hell they're doing, that they're fucking you, and just be like, no comprehend, like it's like they don't understand. It's like bullshit. Like I know you understand basic math. Like you wouldn't be in business if you're jipping everybody off. It's like, but they just know that the tourist is just not going to say shit. So I'm like, multiple times, like you 100% and just be like, give me my fucking money. Like you can type it into transit. It's like, give me my money. And like, they just be like, what?
Damn.
So like sometimes you get like closer to your change back, and you're just like, I'm done with this. Like
Damn.
The meal was $11, like expensive for Mexico, like compared to what we were eating. Like not the end of the world.
It's true. Damn.
But yeah,
that's fucking crazy. Yeah, I'd just be scared of my passport getting taken.
I don't know. I don't think anybody would really take your passport. Like I stayed in hostels, and I'm like, you got tons of people going traveling. There's almost like a mutual respect in the hostels, because it's like if you steal that person's shit, like you're basically saying like I'm okay with my shit being stolen.
Yeah.
Right. Like why would you take it from someone that's like right there? Because I'm like, everybody else in the room is likely not leaving at the same time. So I'm like, people would be like, well, what the, like I just saw you steal that from that person. Like you're not going to trust that person again. General vibe around a hostel is like everybody have a good time and go and do this. So I'm like, I'm sure people can break in. Maybe that like the people that clean the plate, like I don't know, but I'm like, I lost my wallet and someone stole the cash in it. But I'm like, I think they actually did steal my wallet, which I was a little bit fucked. I almost left like very early into the trip and came back. Yeah. But got good friends, and someone PayPal'd me and did all that until I got a new credit card sent and had to stay in a town that I really didn't want to stay in. That
you got a credit card sent to Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I had a buddy. It's like he's really good with that shit. So he was just, I'm like, dude, I have nothing. I can't even book my hotel or my hostel reservation.
You got your ID
booked.
stolen, your U.S. ID.
Yeah, but like I'm like, there's no way I freaking lost it. I knew I didn't lose
US
it.
ID and stolen.
I had my passport.
Okay, that
so I'm
still
like,
gets
again,
you home.
I could have like got out, but I'm like, yeah, your ID is just way easier to like get into bars, do literally anything. Yeah. Because hostels, they also check that too, which you can use your passport, but I'm like, again, it's just a little bit easier and try to keep your passport safe. Yeah. But yeah, I had no money. It's like, so you can, like, Hostel World is a place where you like book like hostels, pretty like effective, but you need a deposit. And like, it wasn't like, again, since I had to cancel my card because I thought someone stole it, and I didn't want people going and doing that, so I couldn't even book that. Like, I only brought the one credit card because I didn't want, like, if I in this situation, like a debit card and a credit card, tried to keep them like separate. So I'm like, you'd at least have the ability, but I'm like, it was there and I just got there. I couldn't have been there 4 days. So I didn't have all that shit set up. I'm like, both of them gone at the same time. So I'm like, fuck, dang. I almost had to book a flight and just jet back home. But buddy came and saved the rescue and had that card expedited overnight. And
holy fuck.
Yeah, ended up working out. It was only like 2 days chilling, went to the beach, forgot about it. And had someone like, again, just book a night for a hostel for me and then paid him back. Damn. Yeah, some crazy shit about Mexico, but another time.
Yeah. Well, dude. It's been fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was dope.
Dude, it's
Absolutely.
great. Yeah.
Thanks
yeah.
for having me.
Yep.
For
Yes,
real.
sir.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Honestly, dude.
Nate.
Yeah.
Nate's got something to say.
We got one final segment this week. Everyone's favorite segment of the week, the Gonzo bet. We'll give an update from last week. We bet on the Reds game for the Reds to win last Tuesday, and they came out victorious. So all of us won. So this week we can bet on the Reds game. There's already a score. I don't know if we want to bet on that, or we got FC
Tomorrow.
Cincinnati playing Saturday, or the Reds game tomorrow.
I'm down for the Reds game tomorrow because I'll be there.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. Reds against the Indians.
Are they still playing the Indians today?
Yeah, they're playing them. It's
Yeah.
just a 2-game series.
What's the score today right now?
3-1. The Reds were losing.
Okay.
The Reds were on a 7-game winning streak last week. That came to an end Sunday.
Versus the
And
Cubbies.
the Indians are pretty good, actually, so we'll see.
All right, I'm going to bet, say the Reds to, you can say Tyler?
Say
Indians tomorrow?
You go.
I don't follow baseball at all.
Oh, yeah.
Pick a
Yeah,
team.
just be flip. I'm
just
gonna
pick a
pick
team.
the. I'm gonna
Just
pick
pick
the
a team.
Indians. Was it
Indians.
Indians would be Guardians, wouldn't it? I guess that's a
Yeah.
PC
Yeah.
way to put it.
I'll pick the Reds then.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
So,
going to pick I'm gonna pick the Reds too.
Yeah, shout out to the one person that waits for the bet of the week every week. There's at least one person out there. Shout out.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. It's
That's
been a
it.
pleasure,
That's
Cody.
that.
Absolutely.
Fire, dude. Glad to have you on.
Yep. Thanks for
good.
having me. It was fun.
Hey,
real.
Peace.
We always end it with a peace.
Peace.
He said it.